With this book, I will start a new series, a new playlist, and it will be about book reviews, talking about books that I found useful, lovingly readable, very useful. And the first one is a book that is called Pray. This is the book, Immigration, Islam, and the Erosion of Women's Rights by Ayaan Hirsi Ali. The author is what you call a migrant. She came from Somalia and moved into various countries. And she wrote a book, and she says in the introduction, this book is about mass migration, sexual violence, and the rights of women in Europe. It's about a colossal failure of the European political establishment and about its solution to the problems, false and real. There are 18 chapters in the book and is divided into parts: the unsafe streets, the European establishment arrogates responsibility for women's safety, clashing civilizations revisited, the integration and its failure, and she ends up proposing some solutions. This is the person, the author. Now, all I want to do for your sake is to read the beginning of chapter 18, a new approach to integration. She says, if European leaders continue to stick their heads in the sand, then I believe that within a decade or two, there will be a meaningful rolling back of women's rights. Public spaces will look noticeably different. We will no longer see women walking confidently, unaccompanied, in the streets, or taking public transit alone. The constraints will not be merely on the women within certain minority communities. They will be felt to varying degrees, depending on where they live, by a significant proportion of all women. The driving force for this change will be large-scale immigration from Muslim-majority countries where people grow up with a radically different view of the place of women in society. But just as important in causing this change will be Europe's misguided immigration and integration policies. By treating this as a minor problem and hoping that it will go away quietly, European leaders have succeeded in making immigration one of the dominant political issues of our time, and it is set to get even bigger. My purpose in writing this book is to urge Europeans to act differently before it is too late. European leaders claim that they want to help refugees, but they refuse to create the conditions on the ground that will be allowing refugees to flourish in European societies. So it's quite interesting. It's a book that I highly recommend. It was published rather recently in 2021. It's a big book, well researched by an author that we need to listen to, because she's not one of these autochthons, as you would call it. She's herself a migrant. She suffered trouble where she was, moved to another place, and moved to another one. She knows Islam very well. She's from a Muslim background, and she's fully integrated in our society today in Europe. So I want to say, read this book and others. If you don't read, you will not know. And ignorance is the case number one for mistakes misunderstanding, and calamities. Without knowledge, there is no power, there is no society. To understand others, to know where they come from, to know their history, and base your knowledge on reliable sources. Every book you read must have notes, and if you see the index, you find out that such an index that is here, some 10 pages or so, is highly commendable. You need to read authors that have based and their reflection on facts and figures that are honest and reliable, and that are not telling stories for story's sake. So this was lent to me, actually. That book is not mine. It was lent to me for reading by someone that I trust, and I recommend it to you. Happy reading.